What's up, everybody? Welcome to the first ever State of the Coin video edition. So we put out a newsletter called State of the Coin. It combines off-chain news and on-chain data to provide a holistic view of the last week in Bitcoin. So we're going to be doing a weekly YouTube video in tandem with our Substack newsletter. I'll link to the Substack newsletter below. But with that, let's go ahead and jump into some off-chain news. Okay, our first story is coming from Bitcoin Magazine. This is Jack Dorsey and Spiral announcing their Lightning development kit. They put this out. They put it out through a video. It was a little bit of a corny video. It had Jack Dorsey as a puppet. Go ahead and check that out. It's about 10 minutes. They just describe what this is. Essentially, it's a kind of a higher level abstraction of Lightning Network implementation. And so it really kind of takes away a lot of the friction points that would otherwise be there when you're trying to implement the Lightning Network. And the Lightning Network, of course, can do things like allow instant and very cheap Bitcoin payments. So this could be huge for small businesses that maybe already have an app and they don't want to go through the pain of trying to implement the Lightning Network. So yeah, this is really cool stuff. It's all open source. It's available with Rust and Swift languages. CEOs testifying on Bitcoin before U.S. lawmakers. So this is kind of funny to me to see CEOs and Bitcoin in the same sentence. Noticeably missing from this hearing was the CEO of Bitcoin, who we found out this week was Craig Wright. It's so crazy, man. The only takeaways I had from all of this are that U.S. regulators are looking to understand digital assets. They know that they're here to stay. They want to understand them so that they can regulate them. And a lot of these big cryptocurrency firms, places like Coinbase, they're publicly traded. They're regulated by the SEC. They're going to play ball. If they get hit with a subpoena, they're probably going to answer that subpoena. These companies have your data. They don't allow you to hold your own keys for a reason. So, this KYC stuff, man, just be careful with it. Yeah, that's all I've got to say. It's not much else needs to be said, man. Hold your own keys. The regulators are coming, and the people that they're regulating are perhaps the companies holding your digital assets. So just be aware of that. And yeah, come on, hold your own keys. MicroStrategy, surprise, surprise. Scooped up more Bitcoin. They purchased an additional 1,434 Bitcoin for approximately $82 million. They now hold 122,478 Bitcoin. They have a aggregate purchase price of these coins at $3.66 billion, and their total holding is now worth $6 billion. Good for Michael Saylor. Good for MicroStrategy. He's gaining a lot of popularity in the Bitcoin Twitter world for his HODL mentality, and so good for him. He's been on a lot of interviews recently. It seems like they're all very good, so make sure you check those out. All right, announced late last night, early today maybe, was that Meta, their WhatsApp chat app or messaging app, is going to allow instant payments through Novi Wallet. Novi Wallet is an internally developed wallet, so Meta actually developed that wallet. I think they were developing it in tandem with their own cryptocurrency called Diem. They kind of abandoned Diem because they ran into some regulatory issues, but they are now allowing you to actually do Pax dollar transfers through WhatsApp with this Novi app, or the Novi Wallet rather. It's only select users now. They're going to keep rolling it out. Pax dollars they're basically pegged to the US dollar, so one USDP or Pax dollar is equal to 1 USD. Who knows what they're going to do, if they're going to expand this out into other things like Bitcoin or ETH. My guess is that it's just going to be Zuckbucks. Like, they're going to continue to develop their own crypto, and then that's what they're going to allow. That's my guess. That's what will probably be allowed on all of their Meta apps, formerly known as Facebook. So we'll see. We'll see what they do. Maybe Bitcoin's popularity makes it like too big of an elephant in the room. They've got to include it, but my guess is that they will only allow Zuckbuck transfers through Novi. All right, AWS went down on Tuesday. This put a damper on a lot of things, including, surprise, surprise, like a lot of crypto firms, including Binance and Coinbase. Let me tell you something. if AWS goes down and you no longer have access to your money, you are not participating in a decentralized protocol. That's just not what's happening, right? So keep that in mind again. I was talking about it earlier with these regulations coming. There are failure points in this. I had no failure points moving any of my Bitcoin around on Tuesday, and I don't suppose anybody else did, because it does not rely on things like Amazon Web Services. So keep that in mind. Okay, moving from, we're going to stay kind of off chain. We're doing this new thing called Terrible Take of the Week. I got to do it. Vitalik, man, end game. Look at this. So ETH, how many hard forks are they going to go through? And now they're just straight up telling you, like, all right, our chain production is centralized, is still centralized, right? Shocker, shocker, shocker. And then just look at this, man. The worst that they could do is go offline entirely. Oh, what's so bad about that? The worst that could happen is just the entire protocol gets shut down. Come on, man. This is just an absolute joke. Terrible take of the week. Get out of ETH. Get into Bitcoin. All right, staying off chain. I did just want to mention that I went to the Nashville Bitcoin Meetup this week. It was all about mining. A lot of it was about home mining. So just to give people a quick rundown of that. Biggest benefits of home mining: non-KYC way to stack sats. If you're just buying off of like an exchange, let's say Coinbase has all of your info. Strike has all of your info. So if you have your own miner, you're getting non-KYC Bitcoin. Always consult a professional electrician. There were a couple horror stories at the meetup about some house fires. So always consult a professional electrician and be careful. They talked a lot about the main friction points for home miners. A lot of this is just risk of acquisition. It's getting a little bit better now, but beforehand, you're basically just sending somebody, whatever the number of sats is, let's say 10,000 USD worth of sats to somebody on eBay, and you're hoping that you're going to get a good miner. So it's getting a little bit better now. There are a couple Telegram groups that you can go to see who's verified out there, who's a verified seller. And then heat and noise, right? Proof of work is a feature of Bitcoin. It's not a bug. And so your miner's going to be working hard. That means it's going to be giving off a lot of heat, and the fans in your miner are going to have to try to dissipate that heat. So those fans are going to be incredibly loud. They said this is not something that that people overstate. These things are incredibly hot and incredibly loud. So those are friction points. There's some products being developed to try to alleviate those concerns, but nonetheless, they are concerns. Cooling is all about heat exhaustion, so it's not about like putting your miner in a freezer. Like most of it is just how you get hot air away from your miner. So one of the home miners that was there that was speaking actually lives in Middle Tennessee. It gets hot and muggy here in the summers, and he's figured out a good ventilation system for his that have helped his stay a little bit cooler. And then I learned a lot about mining pools. I'm hoping to talk about this on our spaces. If you're seeing this Friday, then Friday afternoon, this afternoon, we host a spaces, a Bitcoin happy hour spaces on Twitter at 3:30 Central. So pop in if you can. I'm hoping to talk a little bit more about these pools. So hopefully we can get to that. All right, let's jump into on-chain. I'm running out of time here. Price, man, we're still in a dip. But if you hourly cost average like I do, you don't care too much about these dips. So just go ahead and keep stacking, man. It's a dip now, but we're going up. We're going up. Here's a 200-week moving average. A lot of people use this as a rough floor, very, very rough floor. We're not even close to that, but we bounce off of it when we do approach it. This is the SOPR. So what we're looking at here, numbers above 1 means that you're selling at a profit. Numbers below 1 mean that you're selling at a loss. And what we're seeing is just kind of a bounce back and forth over 1. This is pretty good, especially now that we're hitting a dip. I mean, a little bit of a spike down here, but nowhere near the spikes that we saw during the last downturn, the last significant downturn. So this is good. I think, we're sticking around 1, we're bouncing positive, negative, and we're not seeing a lot of spiky activity. So I think overall, I was really happy to see this. Hash rate is approaching its all-time high. So we hit all-time high hash rate in early 2021. And then, of course, we had the Chinese mining ban, which caused a huge drop. Miners got out of China, and they've quickly redistributed west. mostly I think to the US and Canada, but I also saw Russia and Kazakhstan are scooping up a lot of those miners too. And just like that, I mean, just 6-7 months later, look at this, we're approaching the all-time high. So that's great stuff. And then of course I've got to include the stock to flow model. We are well below the model prediction now, but again, 2024, the model has us at 121,000, and at those halving dates, the model's been pretty reliable. So hey, this is a long-term game. Don't expect to get rich quick. And last but not least, we've got the meme of the week. Man, had to do it. Elon does it again, just bashing the Web3 people. Is so true. Hard to talk to anybody about Bitcoin if they are crypto people. So yeah, man, Elon, keep putting out fire memes. This is what we want you here for. We don't want you talking about Doge. We want you bashing people like this, right? So, all right, that's gonna do it for me. I'm gonna link to all of our socials below. Give us a follow on Twitter. Go ahead and subscribe to that Substack letter, and give us a like and a subscribe here. Always happy to do it. All right, we'll see you next week.